Okay, time now to focus on what would be amongst the biggest deals that we've seen on the India M&A space. It's ringing loud for Bharti Airtel as it makes a move in terms of getting closer to acquire South African telecom major MTN. Girish Trivedi, Deputy Director of Telecom South Asia Middle East of Frost & Sullivan, now joins us. Girish, morning. Do you find MTN as an attractive buy?
See, it's too early to speculate. I think both companies have issued clear directives saying that they are in a talk right now. And from the way these two companies operate in the kind of markets, it's very similar. There are a lot of synergies in terms of their operations. Both operate into high growth, low tariff driven markets. Penetration is low, where demand for cellular services is much higher. And hence we see, there's definite synergies between these two companies, and with lot of operators from international markets entering into India. I think the Indian operators need to look beyond their traditional markets and try to find out where they can find avenues of growth. And this has probably been a strategy for Bharti. They have already started operations in Channel Islands. We've seen that Sri Lankan operations may start very soon. So it seems to be in line with the company's approach for some time of looking at emerging markets, especially Africa and Middle East, for growth.
What are the subscriber growth trends that you see in South Africa, Nigeria, and Iran at this point in time?
See, penetration in Nigeria and Iran and South Africa remains low. The growth is very high. MTN has been very strong in these three of the markets, and that's where we believe the focus area of MTN is, and looks very attractive markets for Bharti too. And we continue to see good amount of growth in these markets because the penetration is low and the demand seems to be driven by a low tariff.
Do you think, this is again an indication from Bharti that, look, we are not very confident when it comes to the India growth story. India is a great market to be in, but, perhaps we got to scout for acquisitions in and around which offer better growth, so to speak.
Well, I wouldn't put it that way. What I definitely presume is that, if you look at the way the Indian growth story is emerging, we see that very soon you'll hit a high level of penetration mark, and that's where the high level of growth which we are witnessing right now in the market will tend to slow down a bit beyond 2 to 3 years or 4 years time frame once you hit beyond 500 million mark. So it becomes imperative for any market leader in an emerging market or an established market to look beyond their own traditional markets to see where they can find new growth avenues and continue to drive both top line and bottom lines, which we've seen has been the hallmark for Bharti's growth story over the last 5 to 6 years very well. And I don't see that it comes probably from the fact that the India growth story is not attractive. But I think what it emerges is that if you look at the way Bharti has grown over the last decade, I mean, they have a focus on emerging markets. They know what it takes to grow in these markets. It has to be a combination of tariff and value, and I think there are innovation which they did in the Indian market. If you look at the outsourcing deals, both on the IT and infrastructure side, which Bharti was pioneer in doing, I think there are a lot of learnings which they can take to these emerging markets, which probably are coming out of shell and probably showing us some sign of growth.
Do you think this is just the beginning as far as the MTN drama is concerned? You don't know whether Vodafone perhaps at some point in time could get interested. Reliance has already indicated that, look, it's a sizable asset we would like to acquire. Assets of these size don't come or rarely come on the block, and when these assets they come on block, there are too many contenders who perhaps want to buy them.
Yeah, absolutely. This can be one of the challenges. What we have seen in a Tata Couriers kind of a deal is that if you have more than two serious bits the price can definitely hike and go really upscale. And we've seen that there has been quite a bit of interest from companies like Reliance who want to look at emerging markets. Vodafone has shown and clearly communicated that they want to look at emerging market in a big way. And yes, Chinese mobile companies, I mean, they are also very much interested, looking beyond China and probably looking at markets like South Africa or Africa and to grow from where they are currently. So yes, I think most the bidders there will be some challenges around how the entire deal can be priced. But then it's still early days. We need to wait and watch.
What do you have to make of the fair price of MTN, what the management is asking, and Bharti's offer of about 165 Rand, 15 bucks away from 150 Rand? What do you feel the fair price would really stabilize at?
Normally, we don't believe to comment on the deal pricing so early in the discussion stage. But yes, look at the market caps of both the companies. And I think it won't be a few $1 billion buyout. It will definitely be much more than that, depending on what stake they take, whether it's a complete buyout, whether it's a partial buyout, whether it's less than. So it will all depend on what are the various options both companies decide and decide to take forward. And I think the deal price will depend purely on that. So I think it's still very early days to speculate anything on the price part. And as a policy, we definitely don't comment on these pricing issues or the deals at early stage.
Right. Girish, but Bharti's been making financing plans at a pretty early stage, already secured about $12 billion in terms of financing from Goldman and Standard Chartered PLC. What do you make of the fundraising capability of Bharti to get this mega acquisition?
See, if you look at the overall debt which Bharti has currently, doesn't go beyond, I think, 70 or 80 million, if I'm correct on that number. So which means that they still debt. So raising finances for any kind of acquisition will never be a big issue for Bharti. And with very good results behind them now for 2007, 2008, of year ending March 2008. I don't foresee any big issues for Bharti in raising funds to broker or to get any kind of acquisition deals if they decide to go ahead with it.
Girish Trivedi, many thanks indeed for joining us and sharing Frost & Sullivan's take on how this deal could progress. That's a wrap on opening moves today. Nifty is at its day's low, so just 18 points away from 5150.
Bit of a splutter from the day side, but again, unexpected lines. You don't have large global cues to really back on. So for the rest of the day also, it's not going to be globe, it's going to be local factors which would be the guiding force.